My sister-in-law hijacked my son's birthday, so I refused to babysit for her.
You hijack, Mom. You hijack, you get no sit.
You mess with my son, I'll never look after your son again. I'm 38 female and married to my husband Joe, 38 male. We have been married for 6 years now and have 2 children together, our 4-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter. I also have my older son, 14 male, whose father is not active in his life. By the way, this comes from Cool Trust 8008. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/okstorytime subreddit. So, additionally, 4.5 years ago, while I was pregnant with our son, my best friend of 25 years passed away. When she passed away, I took in my godson, who is now 17. With a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old in the house, I'm pretty busy, even as a stay-at-home mom.
That's a lot of olds.
That's a lot of
olds.
kids, and also kids with like very different needs.
Very different needs, and you're probably Ubering them everywhere, taking them practices, all this stuff.
My 14-year-old has always been home educated, and my younger 2 will be as well. This is important, and you'll see why. My godson finished his schooling as per his mother's wishes and is now in college. My 14-year-old will also be going to college once he completes his GCSEs. He has already earned 3 at only 14 years old. Wow. My brother-in-law, Tom, 35 male, and his girlfriend, Jenna, 29 female, have been together for 2.5 years. Neither of them have much of a relationship with my kids, and that's fine. No big deal. Until this year, we just assumed they weren't kid people. And honestly, we never expected Tom or Jenna to have children. They're perfectly okay people, to be clear, but they never showed much interest in our youngest children, aside from a birthday card with a gift card inside. They've also rarely acknowledged the older 2 kids. That all changed last Christmas when they announced they were expecting. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's kind of a switch up.
Yeah. Everyone, including my mother-in-law, was completely surprised but extremely supportive. There was even more surprise in January when they found out they were expecting twin girls. As the months passed and my 2-year-old outgrew clothes and baby gear, I offered them to Jenna to help out. She was very grateful. In July, they welcomed their 2 adorable little girls. The whole family bent over backward to support Jenna and Tom. When the twins were just over 2 weeks old, Jenna had a medical emergency and was hospitalized for a few days. Tom explained that with Jenna only receiving maternity pay and his paternity leave already taken, they couldn't afford for him to take any more time off work. I was more than happy to help out, so for 5 days, I watched the newborns alongside my own children so that Tom could continue working and have time to visit Jenna in the hospital, which is so incredibly kind and generous of OP.
Absolutely.
2 newborns plus 4 kids. That just one newborn is such a huge undertaking. It was exhausting, but completely necessary at the time. And if I had my time again, I'd absolutely do the same thing. Once Jenna was released, Tom picked up the twins, but looked upset. He explained that Jenna had been told to take it easy for a few weeks, and he was worried about how she would manage regular household duties and meal prep without him having to cut work hours, which they couldn't afford. Honestly, I felt bad for him. He works hard, but money just doesn't stretch that far these days. My husband and I are far from wealthy, but we are comfortable, and our arrangement works for us. I'm incredibly fortunate to be in a position where I can stay home and raise our children. I offered Tom that if Jenna was ever feeling overwhelmed, I wouldn't mind helping out from time to time. Over the next few days, I batch cooked meals and dropped them off at their home to try and make things easier. All things that are just so incredibly generous, and I keep feeling like something like the shoe is about to drop. Whenever I stopped by, I always had my younger children with me, but still took the time to tidy up the kitchen, make sure the twins were fed and changed, and help however I could. That said, I have 4 children and my own household to run, so I could only do so much. But for those few weeks, I did everything in my power to help. My husband Joe was overwhelmed by how much I was doing. My mother-in-law also helped Jenna whenever she could, but she still works, so her time was limited. By September, Jenna was doing much better physically, so I began to scale back the help I was offering. By that point, I had filled her entire chest freezer with enough meals to last them at least another 6 weeks, if not longer, all at our expense, but I digress. Since then, I have watched the twins a few times. They are now almost 5 months old, and they're absolute darlings. My children and I are very fond of them. Last weekend was my 4-year-old's birthday. After a fun, soft play party with his friends, my husband and I planned a family dinner for him. In attendance were me, my husband, our 4 kids, my mother-in-law, 64 female, her special friend John, 65 male, Tom, Jenna, and their twins. Side note, I don't know why my husband and Tom call John her special friend. They're weird about calling him her boyfriend. John and mother-in-law don't live together, but have been supporting each other for the last decade and seem happy. No big deal. He's always been welcome. Jenna had recently reconnected with her much younger sister, Ashley, 20 female, and asked if she could bring her. I agreed because I was happy to see Jenna expanding her support network.
Okay.
Everything was going great until midway through dinner, when Jenna mentioned that after seeing how well my 14-year-old was doing with home education, she was seriously considering it for the twins.
But they can't do that, right? Because OP is a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And their family can handle it.
I don't think they can.
But I don't think you're able to.
The conversation didn't exactly come out of nowhere. My mother-in-law had just been asking about how I planned to transition my 4-year-old into homeschooling. I told Jenna I thought it was great she was considering home education and assured her that if she ever needed guidance, I'd be happy to help. I see you. I think Jenna's going to be like, you should homeschool my kids. You should just teach my kids.
What's another pair of kids?
Yeah, what's another 2 kids? I thought that would be the end of it, but boy, was I wrong. Jenna looked confused and turned to Tom as if I was missing something. Tom buried his head in his shirt. My husband noticed and asked if everything was okay. Jenna then said she had just assumed that since I'd be watching the twins when she went back to work in 2 months, I would also be the one to provide their education when the time came. When did OP agree that she was watching the kids?
Remember whenever she said she, teaches her own kids? That's when she agreed to teach mine.
Oh,
remember?
Lord.
Don't you remember that part?
Lordy, Lord.
In fine print. You must have not read it.
Entitled. Yeah, you must have not read it when I didn't write it there. I'm sorry. When was there ever an agreement for me to watch the twins once you go back to work? I said. Jenna said, well, seeing as you don't work, Tom and I thought it just made the most sense for the twins to come here rather than pay for childcare since we can't afford it. I recognize that not affording childcare is a big problem for a lot of people, but that is not OP's problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. As the parents, it's your problem. And you can ask for help from other people, but if they say no, it's not their problem.
Gotta figure that out.
It's not their problem.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I quickly looked to my husband for support, and he confirmed that no conversation about this had ever taken place. Jenna insisted that it would just be like when I was in the hospital. She explained that the twins would come to us, meaning me, when both she and Tom were at work. She said it made the most sense for them. Yeah, getting free childcare. Of course that makes the most sense for you.
What? She
even added, don't worry, it's not like we're going to expect you to cook meals and everything like last time, although it would be appreciated from time to time. Y'all are the most freaking, just entitled people I ever met.
Can we do like a small little rabbit hole? Just a small. Whenever we have our houses.
Yeah.
Sophie and our compound has figured it out. We could probably have like each day we can go to one person's house and they have like family dinners or whatever.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's like Mondays or
I'll cook.
Tuesdays.
Do they cook?
And if you can make it great, if not, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And like,
and we all take care of our kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like,
nice.
oh yeah, so the Donners are gonna come over. The whole Donners are coming over.
All of the Donners.
We got all the Donners.
Donner party.
We got the Donner party and the fry party here.
Aww.
Yeah.
What's going on?
This is our compound.
Yeah, we got a compound. You want to join?
Oh, no.
We're going to get back to the story, but Sam, you have a copious amount of something.
What, John?
X's.
I have like 4 or 5 or 6.
I heard of 6 with a 0
All
behind
right,
it.
that 60 number, comes from somewhere else.
Where does that come from?
It comes from our OK Storytime membership.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Join a club almost as exclusive as Sam's X is. Well, let's get back to the story.
I honestly didn't know where to look or what to say. Thankfully, at that moment, my 2-year-old started fussing, tired from the evening. My mother-in-law, apparently sensing the awkwardness, quickly stood up and offered to take her to bed. I thanked her, and sensing the conversation wasn't ending anytime soon, encouraged my 4-year-old to follow Grandma upstairs and help her find everything she needed to settle our youngest. Both older boys, also picking up on the tension, excused themselves and headed outside to the little man cave I had set up for them in the shed. They're like, "Ooh, let's go." That just left me, my husband, Tom, Jenna, Ashley, and John sitting around the table. The twins were asleep in the next room in their pram. The conversation continued with Jenna excitedly talking about how much she was looking forward to returning to work in a few months. My husband, noticing how uncomfortable I was, took the lead. He firmly stated that at no point had anyone discussed with either of us the idea of me watching the twins while they worked. To be clear, this would mean 5 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Oh, what?
Jenna responded that she didn't think it would be that big of a deal since, in her words, OP just stays home with the kids all day anyway. It's not like it would be any real hardship. Then you do it.
Yeah,
Then
how
you
about
do
how about
it.
you watch them 5
How
days
about
out of
you
the week?
watch your own kids 5 days out of the week?
She already has so many. Like, it probably won't even be that
Let's
big of a
two
deal.
more. Why don't you watch your own kids?
Yeah.
I hate this person.
Weird.
At that, my husband defended me again. He pointed out that that of everyone at the table, I arguably worked the hardest since I was raising 4 children, maintaining a home, and taking full responsibility for their education. He told them that if they perceived that as me not doing anything, then they were welcome to try it themselves. Parent your own kids.
Yes.
I like your husband. Tom looked embarrassed and horrified. Jenna, on the other hand, looked offended. She then said that at least her children were related to mine.
Ooh.
You about to make a crack at that 17-year-old? You about to say something about the OP's literal adopted son?
Ooh, I think so.
I'm sensing OP's about to
believe
throw
so.
hands.
If you're trying to get someone on your side
Don't
and you're
attack 'em.
out here saying that,
Yeah.
dude.
Y'all don't know. Unlike my 17-year-old godson, since he was just dumped on your laps a few years ago. This is where I may be the a-hole. I lost it. Girl, you're not the a-hole. Yeah, if you poke a bear and they lash out, that's on you.
Yeah, that's
This is
on
on
the
her.
person with the stick in their hand.
I told her in no uncertain terms, how dare she come into my home and talk about my 17-year-old that way. He wasn't dumped on us. His mother and I had been best friends since before Jenna was even born. When my friend was dying, her one wish was that he come to live with me because I was the one constant he had known in his entire life. His biological father had emigrated to New Zealand when he was 2 and had never even returned for a visit. Until I met my husband, my best friend and I had raised our boys as single mothers side by side. There was nowhere else in the world that my godson belonged more than in my home.
Yeah.
Jenna immediately tried to backtrack, saying all she meant was that if I didn't mind caring for someone else's child full time, she didn't see why I would have an issue caring for her children part time.
Time out. You're just trying to switch this up and you're trying to manipulate this in a way that works for you.
Girly. I would literally be like, I don't want to see you guys ever again.
Well, that was nice. You're not
Bye.
getting any more chicken parm pie.
Yeah, you're not. I'm not cooking for y'all ever again.
That would suck, dude. Ugh.
John, bless him, looked extremely uncomfortable and excused himself to go upstairs and help mother-in-law wrangle the little ones into bed. I told Jenna that whilst I loved the twins, I was not in a position to commit to watching them for that much time. Every reason I gave, she countered. I told her that I don't have a 7-seater car, so if I made this commitment, I'd be committed to either having to keep all the children in the house or leaving the older 2 boys at home so I could have enough space in the car for my 2 youngest plus the twins. She didn't see an issue with that since the boys are old enough to be left. I pointed out that part of our home education plan involved regularly driving my 14-year-old to day trips and social gatherings to ensure he's not missing out on anything. And I wouldn't be able to do this if I was also caring for her twins because of the car space. She said, well, he's already got 3 GCSEs, so surely he can just ride it out until he's 16 and head off to college with just those 3. This woman doesn't know anything about parenting.
She doesn't, and she
doesn't have
care.
a freaking clue.
She's like, oh, let me delegate this.
Yeah, you can't delegate your parenting, girl.
And you were right. They aren't kid people. It doesn't
No.
seem like she wants to take any responsibility.
Yeah, Opie
care
said
of
that
her
at the
kid.
beginning. Oh, I didn't expect these people to have kids. They don't want these kids.
They don't.
They want you. They want the optics of having kids, but they want you to take care of them. I told her that's absolutely not how it works, and that she would have to come up with an alternative arrangement. The conversation went back and forth for some time. Tom was mostly quiet. Ashley looked like a deer in headlights aside from the odd smirk, and my husband was firmly on my side of things. Jenna, however, was insistent this made the most sense for her family and couldn't understand why I was being so unreasonable. Basically, the gist of it was that Tom and Jenna had assumed I'd have no issue taking care of the twins for them for free. They wanted me to have them for 5 days a week, including a Sunday, which is the 1 day a week my husband is guaranteed to have off work, so we allocate it for family time. Sometime later, my mother-in-law appeared back downstairs, having successfully gotten my 2-year-old settled into bed. She told me that my 4-year-old was asking for me to read him a story. I excused myself and headed upstairs. I spent a little extra time on his bedtime reading, mainly because it was birthday and I felt bad that dinner had turned into this. I hope that by the time I came back, the conversation would have moved on. I doubt it. Because they haven't gotten what they wanted.
They haven't gotten what they wanted, and they still got to put these kids in someone else's hands besides
They still
themselves.
gotta hand these kids off. 20 minutes later, I couldn't have been more wrong. When I got back downstairs, my husband was still arguing with his brother and Jenna about the situation.
What kind of crazy town did you guys just come from?
I'd be like, you guys need to leave now. I don't want to see you.
Right freaking now.
Right freaking now. I noticed when I glanced at the doorway that the twins' pram wasn't in the other room, so I asked where they were. Jenna stated that they'd woken up fussy, and since they were trying to make my husband see sense, they asked my 14-year-old and 17-year-old to occupy them, and now they're handing off the kids to yet another group.
What?
She then made a comment about how easy it would be for me to have twins because my boys were capable of helping.
What?
Ooh, let's parensify
They're
the kids real quick.
They're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's like,
them.
okay, you guys can parent my kids. And Opie's like, no. And she's like, okay, what about your kids can parent my kids?
No.
Also, the one that she literally said, you can just get rid of, like, you already have like a random kid dumped on you.
What's too much?
She just insulted that kid, and now she's like, oh, you have to parent my kids too.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you can parent my kid.
That really rubbed
Make
me
it make
the
sense.
wrong way. It's rubbing me the wrong way. She made disparaging remarks about my lifestyle, which was one thing, but asking my children to watch her twins just so she could argue her point further did something to me. I removed myself from the room and went out to the shed. To be clear, this is basically a fully functioning room. It has heating, electricity, etc.
I want a shed like this now.
That sounds sick. Yeah. Well, we do have kind of a shed. We just don't have heating.
Oh, yeah, we don't have heating.
Yeah.
It is almost fully functional.
Yeah.
But I meant like a shed to play video games in.
Like a video game shed.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Well,
Gamer
like,
shed. Gamer
once we
shed.
have,
Gamer
once we have
shed.
our game channel fully functional, we'll just
Good.
make a whole gaming corner in there.
Where would we put it? In that closet?
Yeah. In the closet, and we'll have bean bags.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a special place I created for my older 2 boys to escape from the craziness of having younger children around. They hang out in there. They've got their game system, a mini fridge, and their own space. Neither of my younger children have ever been in there because I've made sure it's a safe place for my older boys to retreat to. I don't agree with parentifying children. Good on you,
Let's
OP.
freaking go, OP.
When I got there, I saw my 17-year-old desperately trying to calm one of the twins while my 14-year-old was rocking the pram with his foot to keep the other one asleep. I apologized to them, strapped the baby my 17-year-old was holding back into the pram, and took the twins back inside. I told Jenna she needed to leave my house and go home to tend to her babies. At this point, I was done. The audacity had gone too far. Tom was trying to encourage Jenna to leave, and this was when Ashley decided to have her say. She told Jenna that if she'd known what a witch I was, she'd never have wanted to come to dinner anyway. She said I was clearly unhinged, only cared for myself, and didn't know what the meaning of family was. So this is the mother-in-law now?
Yeah.
Girl, I'm sorry. If you have anything to say about someone who is not the parent of these kids, not parenting these kids, then you do it. You
Also,
take care of these kids.
The only way I'm saying yes to this offer is if she signs a contract that the kids stay with me until they're 23.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm adopting these kids then.
I'm adopting these kids.
I'm adopting them.
And I also have a business on the side. So they have to work for me
They've got to work
until they're 23.
Dang,
We're
paying
paying
them.
them.
Work.
We're paying them.
We're paying them. It's
because it works as our
indentured
taxes
servitude.
as tax reduction, and they'll be fine. But we have workers to work at the sawmill. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, oh, 2 helpers. Heck yeah, I got them. Yeah, oh yeah,
they're
absolutely.
mine.
They can start picking green beans when they're 7, when they're 5.
That's what children are for.
They can start working. They can start shoveling at 4.
This mother-in-law is crazy.
Handfuls.
Literally, I'd just be like, okay, you take care of the kids. If you think that if I don't know what the meaning of family is, then you take care of the kids.
Yep, I take care of the kids when they're 4. They start working at the sawmill. In between the like lumber going down the green chain, we have a teacher teaching them how to like add.
Exactly.
And they have like a little.
How many lumber are on the?
How many did you count today?
Yeah.
And they write the ABCs on the lumber with Mark, and they do addition to subtraction on it.
If I split the lumber into 4, what fraction is that? Unfortunately, my 17-year-old had followed me back inside and did not take kindly to Ashley talking to me that way. He told her to never speak to me like that again. Mother-in-law was desperately trying to keep the peace, but I was done.
Shout out to the 17-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is Ashley not the mother-in-law?
I don't think
This
so.
is mother-in-law was who's Ashley?
Is that the sister?
Can someone remind me who Ashley is?
I think Ashley.
Ashley's the 20-year-old.
Oh, Mimi says, I think Ashley is the sister, not mother-in-law. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Ashley is the sister, and then John is the brother, and Jenna is the sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes. A lot of characters here.
My 17-year-old told Ashley that if she didn't leave, he'd remove her himself since he was closer to her age than anyone else was. Jenna then told him to watch his mouth or he would have to deal with her since he wasn't even family.
Pop, pop. Pop, pop.
Bam! Bam! Bam!
Get a taste of your own medicine.
That was the final straw. I started counting down from 10 and told her to get out of my house. Honestly, the whole thing was ridiculous, and my poor 4-year-old's birthday meal had been totally hijacked. Jenna, Ashley, Tom, and their babies left. Mother-in-law's special friend also saw fit to leave. I took some time to talk to my boys, especially my 17-year-old, because that boy had been through so much, and this is his home. He was okay, he's neurodiverse and has additional needs, but he is fiercely protective of me and his now siblings.
Aw.
Mother-in-law helped my husband clear the table. When I got back from speaking to the older boys, mother-in-law apologized. She said she had been told beforehand that I would be watching the twins, but had assumed it was a mutual agreement between us. I assured her it hadn't been. She admitted she felt bad that she wasn't able to help Tom and Jenna more than she currently does. Honestly, if I had had the capacity to do it, I likely would have. But 5 days a week was way too much, especially when it hadn't even been discussed. It had just been assumed. It's been a week now, and Jenna has been blocked by me after blowing up my phone with calls and texts about how rude I was to her. Tom stopped by the other night in an attempt to smooth things over and asked if there was any way I'd be willing to help with childcare. I reiterated that as much as I love and adore the twins, I just can't take on that level of commitment and still maintain my 14-year-old's education. I think you also say, even if I could, I don't want to because you guys are incredibly rude.
Yeah.
And you guys suck.
Self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Because I know the second you hand off the twins,
Yeah.
there's going to be
They're taking,
more.
you give them an inch, take it a mile.
They're going to, hey, can you also do this? Hey, can you also
Yeah.
attend my house? And before
Now
you
we're
know
having
it,
more kids.
you're going to be weed eating in their house as they're sipping on lemonade inside watching a baseball game.
And you're like fanning them while feeding them grapes. I've worked way too hard on his education for the past decade to let it fall apart now. I did offer to have the twins one day a week on. You're too nice, OP. You are too freaking nice.
Maybe they were just looking for one day and they were like, let's go start with 5.
Yeah,
and
then work there, yeah. Because that's the one day my son doesn't have any commitments that require me to leave the house. But besides that, there really isn't anything more I can do. We are part of a very large homeschooling community in our area and have lots of clubs and groups we attend. Even my youngest 2 are involved in them. But getting to these activities requires a car. And like I said, I physically wouldn't be able to fit all of the children in my 5-seater car. Tom even suggested to my husband that we purchase a bigger car since there are 6 of us anyway. But honestly, it's never been an issue. My husband and I both have cars, so when he's around, if we're all going somewhere, we just use both. It's never been a big deal until now. After Tom left, my husband asked if I'd be interested in getting a bigger car. I told him I wasn't opposed to the idea since running just one car for family outings would be cheaper in the long run. However, I wasn't keen because it would give Tom and Jenna the idea that I now had space for the twins. 4 kids under 5 plus 2 teenagers 5 days a week is just too much. My 14-year-old also has additional needs that require one-on-one time for his education. Right now, our younger 2 are on a pretty good schedule that allows me to make that happen. But if I had 2 babies in the house for most of the week, plus needing to focus more heavily on my 4-year-old's education, I just wouldn't have the time to give my son the attention he needs. And honestly, call me petty, but after the way Jenna spoke about me and my 17-year-old, I'm not inclined to do anything more to help than the one Tuesday a week I already agreed to.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Dude, you're already giving so much. 1 day a week is a lot.
It is. It's
for people who mistreat you.
Yeah.
We found our mother-in-law has agreed to take the twins on a Sunday as she doesn't work weekends. So that left Tom and Jenna with having to find childcare for 3 days a week. Jenna still hasn't let up. I unblocked her this morning to message her because I found out she's been texting my 2 older boys asking them to ask me to reconsider, etc. She even told 14-year-old that having the twins around would help him feel more a part of the family. Let me remind you, these people have always been indifferent to the older 2 boys. Mother-in-law has always loved and doted on all 4 of my children. It's just Tom and Jenna that view the older 2 differently. I zoned out reading that.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. You zone out a lot.
What did I just read?
You have fully comprehended how to zone out in any time at all.
That's crazy.
It's like a superpower. You know how people freeze time? You know how to zone out.
Whoa! Sorry, I just was fully thinking about getting a C in 3rd grade.
Oh, I got a C in 3rd grade too. I was thinking about starting a new YouTube channel. And it was going to be reading bedtime stories to kids.
That's insane. Sorry. Does anyone know what happened just then?
You want to reread that one more time?
Just go back one sentence and I can
go
tell
back
you.
one page. Just go back one page to just refresh your mind.
Okay.
Hey,
just show it on screen.
Hey, look at us. Look at us. You're okay.
What just happened?
You're perfect, but just that moment.
Never stopped reading.
Yeah, you're good.
That was
you're
really
good.
strange.
Here you go. Okay. Just
I don't know how I did that. Jenna still hasn't let I unblocked her this morning to message her because I think I read it. I read it well. I don't think I need to reread it. I think I just need to reread it.
You know, when you drive the car and you're driving for a long time and you're like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you did.
That's how it.
When you're scrolling on Instagram and driving down the road and you're like, oh, I finally made it.
What?
Okay.
What are you doing in the car?
Excellent. I'm ready.
Are you good? Take a deep breath. Everyone take a deep breath.
Man, that was weird.
Get back on track.
So as of this morning, I rescinded my offer to help on a Tuesday too. Let them figure it out.
There we go.
As you should.
There we go.
As you should.
Yep. And
you don't owe them a Tuesday.
Yep.
You don't owe them any day.
Because OP, what are you getting out of this?
Nothing. They're not paying you.
No money.
They're not freaking paying you.
You don't even know these kids. You don't even like these people.
You don't like them. They suck.
You're getting no
freaking suck.
labor out of these children.
Yeah.
Come back around when they are able to lift a rock, and maybe we'll talk.
When they're allowed to when they can lift a rock.
Yeah,
when they're like 3 and they
well,
can
whenever
lift a
you
rock.
till a garden, there's rocks and sticks. So you
when they
put them.
when they can be put to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Riley's on this
Oh,
train of
man.
making them work.
You gotta make
If
it work.
I'm tending other kids, if
Yeah,
I'm tending
for
take
free?
care for free, they're gonna have to give me something.
They gotta pull their weight.
I also saw in the chat someone had a dog and they're like, my beagle needs a job. Treats and tennis balls are expensive, and I was thinking, how can my dog pay itself rent?
What?
Like, how can it pay for its own food? How can it pay for its toys and everything?
Make it an Instagram.
Oh.
Okay, there it
There
is.
we have it. Nicole H says, your brain heard all that BS and it just went straight out the other ear. I was like, I can't listen to this.
That is actually smart, because I do. If I get a job, I want it to be self-sustaining in its own
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
What?
that.
A dog?
Yeah.
Oh, you said okay.
He wanted to be able to pay for itself. My husband is sad because this has caused a rift between him and his brother, but he totally supports me in my decision, especially after seeing the messages that Jenna sent to 14-year-old. I hate that he's sad, but feel strongly that I made the right decision. Mother-in-law has said she's staying out of the argument because she's worried Jenna will use any stance she takes as a way to alienate her from the twins' lives. So after all that, am I the a-hole? I'm going to be honest, mother-in-law. One, there is an update. 2, you're not the a-hole. 3, I think if the mother-in-law just says, I'll take care of the kids, they won't cut her out of the life. Whatever she says. You know, if she stands up for OP, but she's like, I'll take care of the kids on Tuesday, they'll be like, okay, cool. Because they need someone to take care of these kids for free.
Yeah.
So I feel like the mother-in-law is being kind of a coward, honestly. Like, I feel like they're not going to kick her out as long as she gives them childcare, because that's what they're desperate. Yeah, MJ Gross says she's desperate for childcare.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is an update.
There is an update that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, why are we handing these kids off?
Yeah. Just parent your kids.
I agree with whatever Sophia said.
Thank you. I said parent your kids. Parent your kids or pay for childcare. I understand that you guys are like, you don't have a lot of money, which is like a huge problem, but like, stop making it other people's problems. And there is an update.
Let's go. Riley, make your dog their own YouTube channel and teach it tricks to work for its food and board.
You should teach the
God.
the dog how to like press the buttons.
This is what you do. You say, you have a stream and it's just like it's this area, but there's nothing here. And you say, if you donate, we'll bring the dog on.
Okay,
and
that's
every $1 we bring the dog on for a minute.
I think I will start a social media like, all right, this guy needs to pay for its rent and board.
Like a puppy cam?
GoFundMe.
We should get like a puppy cam.
Yeah.
Puppy cam?
Aw,
Okay.
puppy cam.
Puppy
We put
cam.
like a little GoPro on the dog.
Okay.
And it's like, so that you can still see the dog. It's the train guy, you know, the train guy who like has a GoPro on his face.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
It's like his eyes are
and
like.
he's like, trains, I love trains.
Well, you could probably
And
get a
it's that for
GoPro
the dog.
camera and have it live feed, so then if someone donates, it shows for like a split second.
I'm gonna get a goat and call it a GoPro.
Goats are not that expensive, by the way.
And they pay for themselves because they clean the backyard.
Look at you,
Update.
Sophia.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Ooh, we should do goat
But you-
yoga.
Would be fun.
It's actually surprisingly expensive. Guess how much it would cost for an hour of goat yoga?
$300.
$350.
Dang,
Oh.
I wasn't that all
For how many people? Just like in general?
Just to
One.
bring them out, because you gotta
Dang.
think, you gotta put them in a trailer, you gotta bring them out to wherever, and then you gotta let them run around, and then you gotta put them back in the trailer and do it. It's just transportation is the most. But we can just go to my house and do goat yoga.
Yeah, we just do yoga with your goats.
Yeah.
Do you have goats?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You didn't know that? Pygmy goats and Nigerian dwarf goats.
Dang, that's cool.
Yep.
You
There's
talk
an
about
update.
these goats. These goats are like the best goats around.
No, that was some lady that came to our.
Yeah. But you talked about it and like you could have the best goats around.
I could because of the same breed.
Yeah.
For sure. Update. Hey, it's been a little while now since I posted about my brother-in-law and his girlfriend hijacking my son's 4th birthday with some insane ideas that I'd be providing full-time free childcare for their infant twins. Anyone following the comments would have seen the screenshots where Jenna wound up uninvited for Christmas after she repeatedly insulted my teenage children. Simply for
Ooh.
existing.
Finally, some consequences.
Oy, oy, oy. Not because they done anything wrong. My husband supported me, and when I spoke to my mother-in-law in the following days, she was understanding and shared that she would still be attending our family Christmas. Good. My husband Joe still tried to maintain some semblance of a relationship with his brother Tom, but he kept his distance where Jenna was concerned. Yeah, I mean, they're both crazy. Dog. Cute. Whose dog is that?
My dog back home,
Aw.
What's on the dog's head? What
It's
is
a
that?
little hat. It's a little beanie.
Oh, it's a little beanie.
That's
I was
so cute.
like, what is that?
That's so cute.
That was like a wig.
Sorry, guys.
What's
It
your
was
dog's
relevant.
name? What's your dog's name?
Gracie.
Gracie.
Cute.
Aw.
It got quiet for a while. Then the week leading up to Christmas, Jenna started up again. She was messaging Joe and my 2 older boys, 17 and 14, saying she'd gotten them gifts for Christmas and asking if they'd like to come by and collect them. She also invited us all to their house for dinner on December 22nd. I was reluctant to agree, but my husband and mother-in-law were hopeful we'd all be able to move past everything. I spoke to the boys, and my 14-year-old was okay with going. My 17-year-old wasn't too keen on it if I wasn't going to attend. So I agreed to go with the understanding that if he felt uncomfortable at all, we'd leave. When December 22nd rolled around, we loaded all the kids as well as the twins' presents into both cars. Just as we were about to leave, my 17-year-old started experiencing a severe panic attack.
Oh, no.
Joe and I agreed that I would stay home with him, so we moved the little ones over to his car and he headed off. Since Tom and Jenna live only 15 minutes away, I figured they'd be back in a few hours. I went back inside with my 17-year-old and we put on his favorite Christmas movie, the one he used to watch with his mom every year before she passed. Oh, we were looking forward to a quiet couple of hours together. Not even halfway into the movie, the front door burst open, and my 2-year-old and 4-year-old came running in excitedly, waving new toys in the air.
Okay. I thought it was like
Yeah, I
the
thought it was
twins came
Jenna,
in or
yeah.
something. Oh.
Looking past them, I saw my husband, who had a face like thunder, and my 14-year-old, who looked absolutely heartbroken and defeated. I quickly got the little ones set up to play in their bedroom before heading back downstairs to find out what had happened. My 14-year-old handed me 2 gift bags. One had his name on it, and the gifts inside had already been opened. We think 17-year-olds is exactly the same, he muttered. I don't know how to put into words the anger I felt. For a bit of context that I lightly touched on last time, both my 17-year-old and 14-year-old are neurodiverse. They have difficulties with food and differing presentations of autism. Neither boy is overly keen on eating full meals, and they gravitate towards more beige foods. Over the
Beige
years,
or binge?
this is beige. I'm assuming like plain foods.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
We did that yesterday. Where like someone was dating pretty much the color beige. Like they were just a boring guy.
Oh,
Got it. Because
Over-
I'm like, I thought it was binge foods because I know someone that we work with that also binges foods, and I'm like,
Who binges foods?
who's the person that has something that they always will reheat over and over and over again and then eat it later?
is this John?
Yeah.
It's true.
Because I'm like, if that's the case, we could just have little snacks for him. Like it's like a little egg hunt, and he's like, "Oh, I found a snack," and then he eats it, and then like a little bit later, it's still
He's
there.
just a snacker.
He's a snacker.
He's a
He hates to
snacker.
admit it. He makes himself full meals, but he just snacks.
He's a snacker. Yeah, he's not a binger. He's a snacker.
Yeah, I worry for John like he's my great grandpa. Like the
John's
worry
dad. I'm telling you, John's
The
dad.
worry I
Papa.
have for my great grandpa, I have the same amount for John. And I
Yeah.
don't know why.
That's funny.
I'm telling. Did you before we get back to the story? Sorry. Did you see how he did with the bobbing for apples yesterday?
I'm looking that up right now.
You
I
have.
didn't
I'm
see it. Did
I'm
he
looking
do
that
well?
up right now.
far from it.
Dang. I
I'm
think I
looking.
could maybe do well just because of I have tenacity, but also I don't want to get wet.
You don't really get. I don't know. For this one, they didn't get really wet, but
Thanks, Ryan. Over the years, I've found plenty of ways to work around this and have managed to get different foods into their diets, but vegetables, that's a hill they're both willing to pass away on. Unless I'm super sneaky with them, veggies rarely make it past their plates. If they're incorporated into a meal like mac and cheese with broccoli and sweet corn or pasta dishes where everything is combined, they'll eat them. But if I were to serve a roast with vegetables on the side, they'd leave them untouched. It's fine, we work around it, and they're both super healthy kids. Now, a bit more context. In England, in the run-up to Christmas, what are you doing?
he's watching it.
Oh, he's watching
You
the
gotta watch it
Bobby
with sound though. I'm
Brothers.
telling you, the sound. I was
We're taking a
crying.
pause because I want to watch John.
Just put on the
these
sound. Put on the sound.
apples.
Wait, put on the sound.
Put on the sound.
Squeaky Girl, aka Colleen, has donated $100. Love you guys. You put a smile on my face every stream, and we love you. And time, John. Dakota, click it.
Guys, go to live stream yesterday and go to 3 hours and 46 minutes.
I'm just realizing that like how much just grossness must be in that water once like if you do it at like a party.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
I mean, I was watching it and I was like, no.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Especially John and Dakota. No.
In England, in the run-up to Christmas, supermarkets run promotions where 4 or 5 vegetables are sold for 15 pounds each. A packet of potatoes, a bag of carrots, a bag of parsnips, a bag of sprouts, etc. Sounds great. Can you guess what the gifts Jenna so lovingly went out of her way to buy my 2 older boys? Yep, in my 14-year-old's gift bag were a bag of white potatoes, a bag of carrots, a bag of sprouts, a bag of parsnips, 1 head of broccoli, and half a Swede. What's a Swede in this context?
It's half of Josephine.
Hey Siri, what's a Swede?
Swede? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing. Oh, what is that?
Oh,
A Swede.
Is it a radish?
it looks like
Yeah,
a
it
radish.
looks like a little radish.
I kind of want to try a Swede now.
Swedish turnip.
Oh, it's a turnip.
It's a rutabaga.
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 Okay, you say it then. A rutabaga or Swede that is a root vegetable.
Oh,
Okay.
rutabaga is a Swede?
Yeah.
Is that like a...
Interesting.
Oh, I did not know that. I love rutabaga. Do you like rutabaga?
And everyone, put them in the chat.
Did we just get a
From Hannah. Everyone,
strong silence?
put it in the chat.
Thank you,
All right.
Hannah.
My 17-year-old's gift bag was still wrapped, but it was pretty obvious that it contained the same. Yes, you read that right. This woman had spent 90 pence per child on a bag of vegetables. Vegetables they won't eat. I was seething. And my younger 2, you ask, well, my 2-year-old was gifted a light-up princess tiara and a wand, and Disney princess bubble wand and some fairy wings. My 4-year-old received an army tank with figurines, a Duplo train, and a plush shark. He's obsessed with sharks right now. They both also got a chocolate selection box each. Joe said that as soon as my 14-year-old opened his gift, Jenna laughed and said she was doing him a favor by trying to expand his limited palate. I'm about to expand the amount of punches that are being introduced to your face.
About to expand your face circumference because remember in Invincible
Pound it.
when Omni-Man and the other guy
Oh, yeah.
and they expanded his face.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of a spoiler, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to spoil it.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I watch Invincible.
Well, you've already seen that episode.
Yeah, you were there.
Still. For
You're,
the
you're
people.
complaining about something you shouldn't be complaining about.
I'm complaining for the people.
My 14-year-old excused himself to the shed, and like the amazing older sibling he is, my 17-year-old followed him. Joe told me that 14-year-old had been silent the entire ride home. After reeling off a list of expletives I'm not proud of, I calmed myself down and went to talk to the boys. My 14-year-old asked me if he always ruined family meals because he didn't eat vegetables.
No, you just made it better because you didn't
You
eat
can
the
eat
good
the
stuff.
vegetables, yeah. I would be like, I get more for me.
I remember when my parents wanted me and my brother to eat vegetables, and then we liked them, and then they regretted it the second. Like, oh, so there's no more Brussels sprouts left.
Dang it. Yeah,
Huh.
dude, when I feel like I've always mostly liked vegetables, but there are certain things that I didn't eat, but like vegetables are so good, man.
I
When you
love
realize
vegetables.
when you're a kid and you realize that vegetables are freaking delicious.
I'm more of a veggies guy than fruits guy.
Same. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I love fruits, but like potatoes,
Those exotic fruits give me a minute.
freaking green beans.
My gut system is not made to digest those
Oh,
kind
the
of
fruits.
fruits.
We had a
Oh,
lot
well,
of fruits.
I called it. I was like, get ready, guys, because there's a lot of fiber in
I
these
love it.
fruits.
I told him that was far from the truth, that everyone has foods they like and don't like. I reminded him that even dad, technically his stepdad, but 14-year-old chooses to call him dad, eats lots of foods that I don't like. We turned it into a little game of listing foods we each disliked but that others enjoyed. I reassured him that Jenna was clearly going through something, but that she had absolutely no excuse for treating him and his brother that way. Both boys were confused, rightfully so, because Jenna had literally reached out to them, saying she'd gotten them gifts. She had completely set them up to be humiliated.
Why?
I didn't want to comfort Jenna immediately, so I left it for a few
Confront.
hours. Oh, confront. I was like, why would you comfort her? I didn't want to confront Jenna immediately, so I left it for a few hours. That's when phone started blowing up. What happened next can only be described as ironically beautiful karma. Earlier in the day, when we'd loaded the cars to head to Jenna and Tom's house, one of the twins' gift bags had been placed in the boot of my car. In the chaos of switching cars after my 17-year-old decided to stay home, it inadvertently got overlooked.
I see you.
Okay.
I see you.
So my next contact from Jenna that evening was a string of semi-abusive text messages about how dare we only buy for one of the twins and not the other. Okay, I see. So one of the gift bags got left in the car by accident for the twins.
Also, why would you care?
She has the audacity to say, like, how dare you didn't get my baby. Don't even think baby a gift when I humiliated your two sons.
Yep. Also, fun fact, I didn't get my little brothers anything for Christmas until last Christmas because I knew they would not even remember because they're getting gifts from everyone else. They're not going to remember what I got them. And then I got them a big present. I got them an Xbox.
Nice.
And my little brother cried.
That's a good gift.
They were
a good
crying.
big brother gift.
I saw him. He was like,
Oh,
I don't know what we're going to do this year. Like, I actually have like adult money now.
Step it up.
And I'm like, crap.
Yeah,
Like, do I
when
gotta
Sam
start
got
paying for
adult
his
money, I
401k?
started getting good gifts, man.
Yeah.
He took me to, like, the first really good gift. He took me to London. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Dang.
It went from, we started with a Wii one year. I
Oh,
was like,
nice.
whoa, he got me a Wii.
Wait, who took you to London?
Sam.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
For my birthday. She went on about how awful it must have made them feel to be singled out like that. It was a genuine oversight, and to be clear, the twins are not even 6 months old. They definitely would not have noticed. My kids, however, they've tolerated years of this BS, and Jenna had gone too far. The best part, she followed it up with a message that I had better correct that mistake by the time they came for dinner Christmas Day. She was not invited for dinner. She hasn't been since last month, and it was not open for change. That evening, once the littles were in bed and Joe was playing Call of Duty with the older boys, I set off to Jenna and Tom's house, gifts in tow. When I knocked on the door, Tom answered, his face pale. I handed him the missing gift bag for the other twin and explained that it had been left behind by mistake. He was full of excuses, claiming he had no idea what Jenna had done until he saw my 14-year-old open the gifts. He said they had been arguing about it all evening and that he was at his wit's end with her. Ooh, freaking cry me a river.
Okay.
Little violin for you. I put one hand up and told him, wait. Okay, sorry.
They
I
don't
was
love
sick
me
of
like
the
I love you.
excuses. What?
What was that from?
Wait. They don't love you like I love you. Wait. They don't
love you like
It's just a TikTok. Then I asked to speak with Jenna.
The professionals I work with, guys.
He invited me inside.
You want to work? You want to have kids work for you?
Guys, my biceps.
Yeah,
they'd
they'd know how to. They'd be locked in.
It hurts.
Let's see
What
it.
did you do?
I don't know. I think I'm flexing too much, man. I'm covered in bruises actually from climbing.
Give me a flex.
It hurts. It hurts to
Then
flex.
maybe you shouldn't climb.
No, I have to. Jenna saw me and immediately jumped to her feet, making excuses about needing to tend to her babies. I told her that surely Tom could handle it, and Tom, catching on, quickly excused himself and went upstairs. I turned to Jenna and asked her what the heck her problem was with my kids, why she felt the need to single them out and make them feel bad for existing. She rolled her eyes and snapped back, asking why it mattered when it was evident I didn't care about hers. I reminded her that this whole thing started because she assumed I would watch her babies full time, and when I couldn't, she decided to be vindictive. I told her she had taken things too far by pretending to extend an olive branch to my children, only to try and humiliate them.
Ooh.
She rolled her eyes again and muttered that if it was such a big deal, she'd have Tom pick up a gift card for each of them before they came over on Christmas Day. Y'all aren't coming over on Christmas Day, girly.
Yeah, I think you
Y'all aren't
messed
coming.
that up.
Girly, you're not invited.
You're done.
Then she flopped back onto the sofa like she was the one exasperated with me. That was the moment I needed. I reminded her again that she was not welcome in our home, not on Christmas or any other day, that she had crossed the line by humiliating my children, that it was one thing to be indifferent to them as she had been before, but to go out of her way to make them feel small was despicable. Then I tipped out the other gift bag I had been holding, the one filled with all the potatoes and vegetables she had ever so kindly gifted my sons, and dumped it into her lap. I remarked that since she was clearly planning to show up at our house for Christmas dinner, she might need these back to prepare a meal for herself. I love how OP went from like, I am the most helpful person to like, don't freaking mess with me.
Yeah, you got to put your mama bear face on. I was surprised she didn't like, here's the twins thing, take that out, put something else in it, and then put it back in.
Yeah.
Like put a steak in it, be like, oh yeah, you're well, no, that'd be evil towards a twin because like it can't eat it and it choke and die.
Oh, well, OP wasn't there when they opened it.
I know, but they have a twin gift basket.
Oh,
replacing that.
to the Jennas. Okay, got you. Yeah, but also like the twins wouldn't. Well, I guess they
wouldn't know.
Would notice. Yeah.
The twins are opening them up. They're like 4.
Yeah,
they're not
like,
even 4. They're like
5 months.
They can't even hold their head up. They're like that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah. And then I left. As I pulled out of the driveway, she followed me to the front door and threw a carrot at my windscreen. Yes, this woman was in the street throwing carrots at my car. As I rounded the corner, I caught a glimpse of Tom appearing and ushering her back inside. By the time I got home, Tom had already called my husband to explain what had happened. I hadn't told Joe what I planned to do, only that I needed to pop out for a bit. Not because I was trying to be deceitful, but because I knew he would try to talk me down, and I had had enough. Thankfully, he wasn't mad at me. In fact, he found it mildly amusing when I told him about Jenna chasing me outside and throwing carrots at my car. I checked the car this morning, just in case, and it's fine, no cracks. Then my mother-in-law called. She had already heard about what happened. She wasn't upset, well, not with me anyway. When she found out about Jenna's stunt with my boys, she was furious with both Jenna and Tom. Tomorrow is Christmas, and suffice it to say, we have no plans for Tom, Jenna, or, unfortunately, the twins to join us. I honestly can't believe what this whole saga has turned into, and I feel devastated for my older 2 boys who have clearly been affected. Last night, while I was preparing dinner, my 17-year-old came up to me and said he'd be willing to try cauliflower if it would make me happy. I told him that he could eat whatever he wanted and that there would never be a time when what he does or doesn't eat would affect my happiness. I only care that he's happy.
Aww.
For the record, he didn't eat the cauliflower.
That's funny.
Meanwhile, my 14-year-old has been very withdrawn. Joe took the older boys out to play snooker yesterday. What the heck is snooker? Brits in the chat. What's snooker?
Snooker? I'll look it up.
Hey Siri, what's snooker?
Why don't you pull up Snooki?
Snooker is a cue sport played on. It's like a pool game.
Wait, can I see? Oh.
Snooker and pool are cue sports with distinct gameplay and rules. Snooker is played with a larger table with smaller pockets and uses 21 color balls and a white cue ball.
Okay.
It's an English thing.
Hoping to cheer them up, but when they got home, Joe said 14-year-old was unusually quiet. He sat in the corner and didn't join in, which is not like him at all. But you know what is like you guys to do?
Yeah.
Listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up Storytime. Do it.
With your ear holes.
It's just like you.
And I understand being a listener because I have one podcast that I want to listen to, but I can't because there's so much content and I don't have that kind of content during the day. But I'm starting to watch YouTube like a TV show.
I love that.
I also don't have a hobby anymore
Why not?
because I finished my project.
Oh, you should just start doing more of that.
But
you
for
could
other
make
people.
like scrapbooks.
For who?
Just like fun ones. Like it doesn't have to be like of a person. It can just be like you cut out magazines and stuff. That'd be fun.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Okay, well, you don't have to.
I'll find another hobby.
The objective's not there. I know for Riley, it's just like Angie. So
Yeah,
Angie.
exactly.
I got
Just
you,
get
buddy.
into like bracelet making.
What?
I am in the middle of making a bracelet.
Yeah, then you could make bracelets for her.
But we do that together.
Oh. But there's
Sorry.
a little bit left to this story. And I'm glad that OP stuck to her guns, put her foot down,
Yep.
didn't let Jenna walk all over her.
And I'd be buying the biggest fish I can in my local supermarket and throwing it at her car.
Taste of a fish, brother.
It's stinky.
It's stinky. I'm still beyond live with Jenna, and I don't think I want to come face to face with her anytime in the future. I believe mother-in-law will be visiting Tom and Jenna today, Christmas Eve, to see the babies. Her and John will be spending Christmas Day with us as originally planned. I don't feel like the a-hole any longer. You're not, girl. I feel like my actions were entirely justified given the level of indifference and mockery Jenna showed to my children. But feel free, Reddit, to tell me if I'm wrong. Also, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You're not wrong, girl. Those people are crazy. But
Merry
that is the end of that
Christmas.
story.
I am Christmas.
And the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a final thought. Jenna sucks.
Yeah.
You're taking good care of your kids. Your excellent parenting skills are impressive, honestly. And I really hope that Tom leaves Jenna.
I was
mean,
about
they
to
have
ask
kids.
that.
They have 2 kids.
Do you
Maybe
think they
can go
would
to-
divorce?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I necessarily want them to divorce
Do you
because
think
they have
Tom
2
is
kids.
Spicy cat whipped?
I think Tom is cowed for sure.
Cowed, is that what we call it?
There's a
Spicy
word for
cat
it.
whipped.
Like, what's the word? Like when, like about a man, it's like being whipped, but like it's a different word. It's like cowed or something. I'm forgetting the word right now.
You mean the CU? Is it a K?
No,
No.
it's like cowed.
Cowed? Like
But
COW?
but I think there's an actual term for it, but I'm forgetting it. But
I don't
that's
know.
him. Oh my god. But that's him, and I'm thinking of a different word.
I forgot it.
Just
he
gather
sucks.
all the kids.
I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if they're gonna get divorced. He seems pretty like afraid of Jenna. I think that like I would hope they go to like therapy or something
Yeah.
because they have cuckolded. That's also not the word I was. But
that was the word I was gonna say.
that is another word for it.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story. So we're gonna finish it.
What?
I don't know. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
See you tomorrow.